State. Are you in good hands? Coming to you today with some breaking news. I'm going to talk about what poetry is and what it's supposed to do and why you should try to write some of your own. So what is poetry? Poetry is an effective way to communicate. It is an art form and it allows emotions to be amplified in whatever way a person chooses to. It can be described as a catharsis, which is a purging of emotions. It's like taking how you feel and throwing it on a page. After this, most of the time, I no longer feel some type of way. It also does not have to rhyme. Something you said the other day could be the start of a poem. There are many things used to analyze poetry. We have interpretation. In the poetry class I took, the first thing we ask is what it is about and what is it trying to do. You analyze syntax, which is sentence structure, diction, which is choice of words, line breaks, which is basically paying attention to things like what words your lines end on. You don't want your lines to end on weak words like the word like or in or the. And you pay attention closely. You closely pay attention to punctuation, and that's extremely important because it can further not consolidate, but it can further solidify a statement. You have things like in jam and in stop lines, which we'll talk about later on in the series or whatnot. And you have capitalization, rhythm, meter. There's so many things in poetry that you can just sit down. It can be a poem that's just like this small. And you can sit down, you can pick it apart and just kind of focus on and zoom in on different things and just be like, oh wow, I didn't know that's what that meant. Poetry can educate you. It can teach you many things. You just gotta be willing to read. You gotta be willing to learn. Each and every person on this earth can have a different interpretation of what a text is trying to say and what it's trying to do. That doesn't mean that there is a wrong or a right interpretation, because the author can't just go out into the world once they release their work in the world and say, oh, this is what I meant when I said this. That's not how it's supposed to work. You focus on things like capitalization, rhyme, meter, allusion. There's a lot of terms associated with poetry that you don't traditionally use when you're reading something like a short story, like maybe intuitive leaps. I read this story by Toni Morrison in my American Lit class. It's a short story called Recitative, and it has intuitive leaps. There are no kind of like prompts to let you know when the next paragraph starts or what kind of tone the conversation is having in this short story, but it has intuitive leaps just like poetry. That being said, there are no rules in poetry. You might have your like traditional guidelines or traditional forms, but you can break those traditional guidelines and those traditional forms if you choose to do so, because it is your writing and it is your work of art. An example of a poem is called Disapproval. It's based off of the assassination of President Kennedy way back when I wasn't thought of, whatever. Day off in a dark suit and hat, looking through the viewfinder of a new 8mm Bell and Howell camera, paying no mind, the open windows, the seizure. In this excerpt, the author is describing, you know, an ordinary man's life. Day off in a dark suit and a hat. It's my day off. I'm gonna wear my dark suit and my hat, and I'm gonna go to the parade and film the president going across my camera in his motorcade with his wife. Well, we're gonna have a good day. It's gonna be a great day. But you go down and you read of a new 8mm Bell and Howell camera, paying no mind, the open windows, the seizure. That's not a good day. That's not a good off day. A seizure. So that's telling me, you know, something is going on, something's happening. But what's happening? You won't know what's happening until you continue to read the poem. I will try to attach a PDF or just some kind of something so you can see like the entire poem in the video or whatever. And I also just kind of want to leave y'all with a writing prompt. I got this writing prompt from a woman named Kate Marvin. She wrote The Oracle, a poetry book. Not an anthology, it's just a poetry book. It's a series of poetry, poems, whatever. This blank is blank. It looks like a blank and a blank. It reminds me of blank. When I see the blank, I feel like. And I'll put this in the text in the description or whatever, so you won't be trying to figure out what it is I'm trying to say, or have to play back the video. But basically what we did with this exercise is we took a dollar bill and we sat it beside us while we were writing, and we described this dollar bill, you know, like what does this dollar bill make me feel like? What do I see when I look at this dollar bill? That's just kind of a, maybe like a good quick start to a poem or something if you want to write. And also, leave questions in the comments so I can do like a Q&A video on poetry. Whatever questions you have, just put them in the comments and I'll collect those and just kind of answer those in the video. I'm excited to just kind of see what I can do as far as describing what poetry is and what it's supposed to do. I hope everybody enjoys these videos. Give me some critiques. Good critiques are always good. Subscribe, share my video, share my channel, please. I hope you have a good day. Thank you. Oh, there's another thing that I forgot to mention. I will be leaving a link in my video somewhere right here, whatever. It'll be right here somewhere. We're going to focus on talking about spoken word poetry, slam poetry, or whatever. There's a slam poet whose poem I really enjoy this poem every time that I listen to it. It's by Rudy Francisco off of, I can't think of the Right About Now. And it's a perfect example of using pronunciation to just make a word seem like it rhymes when it really doesn't rhyme. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. I hope you have a good week.